Hello, dear Upper Intermediate English students at UNICA. This is the Model UN position paper suggestions for you to take into consideration when doing the research and writing the paper for your Model UN simulation. Let's get started. So, what is a Model UN position paper? It is an essay detailing your country's policies on the topics being discussed in your committee. Remember that each one of you belongs to one of the Sustainable Development Goals committees that are either climate action, reduced inequalities, or responsible consumption and production. So what is a Model UN position paper? A MUN position paper, also known as policy paper, are strategic documents that give an overview of the MUN country's position. Position papers are usually one page per topic, so your position paper will be one page. Very important, although not required by every conference. A good position paper will show your chairs and fellow delegates that you have a good understanding of the topic, your country's experience with the topic, and the policies your country would want to see implemented to handle the issue. Remember that each one of you has only 3 issues, but the position of each country in front of that issue will be different. So what are the parts of the position paper? First of all, let's take a look at the position paper on this exercise. Identify its parts. What do you find in each paragraph? So I am going to put the link to this position paper on Edmodo for you to download it and to do it with your partner. So please stop the video, go and download the paper and identify the position paper that you find on the Edmodo list. Pause the video. Okay, so you're back. Let's take a look. This is a Model UN position paper written in regards to climate action and environment by a delegate from Spain. Okay, so I hope you have analyzed the different parts of the position paper here and taken a look at what has been suggested by the people who wrote the paper. So, how to write your MUN position paper? First, how you and your country sees the situation or problem in general. Second, your country's relation to the topic. And third, what you want to pass in your MUN resolution. Remember that in the Model UN, it is not only about presenting the problem, but also presenting the solution that your country suggests the United Nations should take. As you write your position paper, remember these characteristics. They are 1 to 1.5 pages in length. Your position paper should include a brief introduction, followed by a comprehensive breakdown of your country's position on the topics decided in class. And a good position paper will not only provide facts, but also make proposals for resolutions. I just had mentioned that. It's not only about discussing the problem, but mentioning the solutions. So, for your instructions, every slide I add half a page, but it's between 1 and 2 pages. That's all we were gonna accept. Margins must be 254 centimeters or 1 inch for the entire paper. The font must be Times New Roman size 12. You need to justify the paragraphs. That means, the icon that you use in Word so that all the letters on this side of the paper are in the same line. The left and the right margins must both have straight edges. Country name must be clearly labeled on the top of the first page, as you saw in our example for climate action and Spain. Agenda topics must be clearly labeled as the title. This part, it's like the title is, the agenda is the 3 topics that we are going to discuss. National symbols such as flags, logos, etc. are deemed inappropriate for MUN position paper, so you don't need to add the flag of your country or anything like that. Okay, I'm sorry about this date. I didn't change the date here, so ignore this. Okay. A good position paper will include a brief introduction to your country and its history concerning the topic and committee. So, what is your country's history about climate action, for example, or about responsible consumption? How is the issue affecting your country? Your country's policies with respect to the issue and your country's justifications for these policies. So for example, if you're talking about reducing inequalities, then one of the policies of the country can be to give women the same right to enter universities and to make sure that all the same number of women and men enter universities during the first semester. So that is a policy, you gotta explain why. You need to include quotes from your country's leaders about the issue, so please find quotes by the president, the ministers, vice president, chancellors, ambassadors, etc. The action taken by the government with regard to this issue, so for example, have they done anything in regards to fishing, for instance, or to gender equality in the job place? Conventions and resolutions that your country has signed or ratified. So for example, are they part of the Hague Treaty, or are they part of the Paris Agreement, etc. United Nations that your country supported or opposed. So for example, the United States is connected to a lot of countries, but maybe Ghana not so much. What your country believes should be done to address the issue. Remember, we're proposing solutions. What your country would like to accomplish in the committee's resolution. So what is the idea that your country has in terms of solving the problem, and how the positions of other countries affect your country's position. So for example, in Latin America, what decisions that Colombia makes affect the decisions that Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru make, right? Okay, so some tips: keep it simple. Make sure that you communicate your ideas strongly and effectively. Avoid flowery wording. Remember, this is academic writing. Make it official. Try to use the seal of your country or create an official letterhead for your position paper. However, avoid the flag, okay? Get organized. It's important that you separate ideas in paragraphs and that you use the vocabulary in an organized way, that you put your points forward clearly, and that you present all of the information you gotta present. And cite your sources. Please use footnotes and endnotes. I have seen you bring in a lot of resources, so please use APA to cite correctly the resources that you use. Okay, other tips: read and reread. Leave time to edit your position paper, so please do as much as you can this weekend. Speech. Do you plan to make an opening statement at your conference? A good position paper makes a great introductory speech. Remember that we have as a conference which is to read these papers in the classroom, so please prepare to read aloud. Let the bullets fly. Try not to make your proposals become lost in the sea of information. Try to be very direct, straightforward, and straight to the point, okay? So now you can work on your position paper workshop considering this information and using the structure that you received on the handout. Good luck with that and see you around. Bye!